An update on Ben Simmons is that he isn't able to do any work right now. He just took a steroid injection to ease his pain in his lower back, which I don't know about you guys, but I feel like at this point, Ben Simmons isn't playing at all this season. I think they're going to sit him. They're going to basically redshirt him, even though he hasn't been playing it all season long. The Nets are the 8th seed currently. They're 37-34. Now, how big of a loss do you think Ben Simmons is, if he is at all, at least for this current Nets team? Do you feel like they even need Ben Simmons is my kind of real question. What do you think, Riv?
Honestly, I don't think I don't want to say need, it sounds disrespectful to Ben Simmons. He's an okay player. He's a guy who is one of the best defenders in the league, so I think that defense is there. But if Kevin Durant, the real main thing is Kyrie Irving. I think that's the main piece that they would be missing, because if Kyrie Irving can't play, which it's looking like he probably won't be able to play games in Brooklyn, that's going to sting.
Or Toronto.
And if Kevin Durant and Kyrie were playing, I don't think they necessarily need Ben Simmons right now. But I think at this point, talking about Ben Simmons for a little bit, this season is kind of a wash. It's been a lot going on with the situation in Philly. He finally gets traded. Something wrong with the disc in his back. Sit out this year. It doesn't even make sense. He's not even physically, even before, he wasn't even physically ready to play. He's still, he wasn't doing anything. So sit out this year. You're under contract for a long time. For Brooklyn, get Kyrie Irving re-signed. Seth Curry's under contract. Ben Simmons under contract. You got those young guys, Cam Thomas, Kessler Edwards, Day'Ron Sharpe. You should try to bring
Claxton a free agent?
I don't know.
Okay.
They should try to bring Andre Drummond back. I think that would be a good piece.
He's been really good for them.
Patty Mills is somebody who probably would accept his player option if he does decide to say, bring the team back. You know what I'm saying? Run it back. Ben Simmons, get better. I'm begging you to get better in the offseason. And then this team could be fully next year will probably be the year we see the fully revamped what we was expecting Nets. But this year, I still think they can make a run. I still think they can beat a team in the first round, whether it be Miami or Philly. If Kevin Durant and Kyrie are there, I think that's still a dangerous Brooklyn team. But Ben Simmons, I don't think they necessarily need him to make a run because Kevin Durant and Kyrie are so dynamic. But Ben Simmons, for his health purposes, should sit out for the rest of the year.
Do I think they need Ben to make the playoffs? I don't think so. The question here is, will the Nets miss the playoffs? If Kevin Durant is Kevin Durant, that should not happen.
I don't think they should.
Kevin Durant, you don't think they're making?
No, I told Seb this. We was in the gym yesterday, and I told him, he was like, Atlanta's a good team. We could lose. I said, bro, if Kevin Durant loses to Atlanta or Charlotte and doesn't make the playoffs, I really don't want to hear anything for a year. Same thing for LeBron. I'm going to be honest with you. Those two guys are great enough to beat teams like the Pelicans or Atlanta and Charlotte. Those two are at that type of level. So I expect those two guys to win those games. They have good enough pieces to win a game.
Do you think the Nets can beat the Raptors?
Yes.
I think so too.
Yes.
Kevin Durant's
But the Hawks are coming off of Eastern Conference Finals appearance.
Hey,
say what you want to say, man.
They're a great big time team, man.
Hey man, Knicks 3rd seed. Remember that.
Hawks have been the biggest disappointment this season for sure.
No, it's been you guys.
Been a few. Yeah, fair.
Don't do that.
Fair.
Don't ever.
The Nets, us, Knicks, Hawks.
I wouldn't say the Knicks.
Not their disappointment. But
they're not the biggest.
No, I'm saying
you guys
have the biggest.
Those three teams have more talent than
I'm with you. I would say, I said the Knicks before the Hawks. The Hawks are more disappointment than the Knicks, but those are the 4 biggest disappointments for sure.
Let's actually talk about it now real quick. What teams have been the most disappointing in the NBA this season? What's number 1?
Lakers, by far. By far.
The Nets are still a play-in team also, but I would agree.
Kevin Durant went down with an injury. That's what made them a play-in team. They were a second seed.
LeBron's been in and out of the lineup. AD's been in and out of the lineup.
You weren't good when they were in the lineup.
We weren't. I mean, we were still a top 3, top 4 seed when they were healthy.
Lakers have been disappointing, though.
Yeah, they
What
have
about
been.
Atlanta Hawks? You have to put them up
For
there.
sure.
Definitely
for
up
sure.
there.
They're probably number 3.
Are we putting the Portland Trailblazers here?
I wouldn't, because expectations for me were low. I would say the Knicks got to be up here. I mean that respectfully. Truthfully, they
You're
haven't
right. I
been
mean, as somebody who was very high on them before the season, I feel like people expected the Knicks to regress, though, outside of Knicks fans, in my opinion.
We at least expected them to be a playoff / play-in team.
I did expect playing. I'm not going to lie.
What about the Pacers?
That's for you.
Got to be a disappointment for me and the Kings.
Yeah, definitely
Kings,
for you.
Kings, yeah.
Pacers, they right where I wanted them to be.
It's a shame, though. Injuries derailed their whole season.
You're a big Ben Simmons guy, though. So
I am.
You think they need him?
I'm saying to make the playoffs right now, I don't think they need Ben Simmons.
They've shown that.
Can they make the Eastern Conference? Do they need Simmons to make the ECF?
This is why this net situation is difficult, because now that the ban, it's official. They're not. It's not official. It's most likely the ban is not going to be lifted, which means that Kyrie Irving is not going to be able to play home games. That's going to be huge for teams against like Miami, huge for teams like
Philly.
Milwaukee, huge for teams like Philly, where we saw Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving absolutely light up Philadelphia. This is going to be one of those situations where with Ben Simmons, it would definitely help the Nets situation, but I'm not looking at a Nets team with KD and Ben Simmons and thinking that this is my roster to make the run. I'm looking at KD, Kyrie, Ben Simmons, where yes, I would feel overly confident in them to really make a run. But with KD and Ben Simmons, I'm not feeling the same energy as I would feel with KD and just Kyrie, to be honest with you, because that scoring tandem is the best in the NBA when they're on the court together. They're the most dynamic, whatever you want to say it, they're the best at scoring wise when they're on the court together. But it gets tricky because with Kyrie being a part-time player, especially in the playoffs, it's going to be detrimental to them. Do I think they need Ben Simmons to make a championship run? No, because KD and Kyrie have shown that they could do it just themselves. Would it be nice to have Ben Simmons? Without a doubt. That only enforces that.
They don't need Ben Simmons. Point blank, period. I know Ben Simmons is this nice consolation prize for trading James Harden.
All NBA player, bro. Show some respect. I know that means a lot to you.
All NBA?
He actually has made All NBA.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
Come on, read a book, bro.
I don't know how he made that team.
Third team, right?
Yeah.
Ben Simmons is a playoff liability. Ben Simmons, even if the Nets do get him back, is probably not ready to play anyway. How he's hurt now, despite sitting the entire year, is something I'm really trying to grasp and figure out.
He must have not been training at all.
It's just really a testament to who he's been his entire career, though. He's been an underachiever. He's been somebody who's talented, who has regressed since his rookie season. I look at the Nets, and I feel like as long as they have Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving,
big facts,
they can beat any team in the East still. Seth Curry is averaging 16.8 points per game, virtually 17. Drummond is averaging a double-double, 12 and 10 with the Nets. I feel like trading James Harden, they got a spot-up sniper shooter in Seth Curry, who's shooting almost 48% from three.
Seth can match any third guy.
Ridiculous.
Low-key.
Andre Drummond, they didn't have a center before him. Now they have their best center that they've had in years. And Harden is a superstar talent, but they got depth for him, and I think that's what matters. I still look at a Nets team if they have a lineup out there with Kyrie, Seth, Kevin Durant, Drummond, and Bruce Brown, who's been playing really well for them. That's a pretty good lineup. We're talking about a team who took the Bucks to the wire injured. And now they just added Seth and Drummond. I feel like if the Nets get healthy, and you're right, the vaccine mandate is a huge thing because of that, Kyrie can't play in home games. And I think, quite frankly, that rule is bullshit. We all know that rule is bullshit, especially when players from other states can come in and they can play. Exactly.
Insane.
It's ridiculous. The Nets, fully healthy, they should make the playoffs. There's no reason why they shouldn't. They can beat any team to play in, whether it's Charlotte or the Atlanta Hawks. They should not pose a threat to the Nets. They can beat Toronto if it's one game to go.
Though.
But the thing is, it would have to be, from the way that it's set up right now.
No, it's in Toronto.
Toronto versus Brooklyn, which means Kyrie can't play.
Yep.
Let's say they lose.
They go to home.
Brooklyn would have to be at home, which means Kyrie can't play.
Yeah.
They can beat Atlanta and Charlotte with KD.
My initial point is, if Kevin Durant is Kevin Durant, he should be able to get past Toronto. Worst comes to worst, he should be able to get past Charlotte.
They go to Miami.
Atlanta.
Kyrie can play those two games.
Oh, for sure.
If they're an 8th seed. Or if they're 7th seed, Kyrie can play those two games in Philly.
They can get up like a 2-0 lead.
What's the interesting thing about it, if they are the 8th seed, they would be playing 4 games away, and outside of Toronto, there's no
and Toronto won't go to the
spot where
round.
he can't play away.
Yeah.
So it would be interesting to see that, because if he only plays road games and they win all their road games because of Kyrie,
even if they win 3 and Kevin Durant gives you one game at home,
he's more than capable.
Yep.
He should be, at least.
All right, don't do that.
I'm just saying he should be.
I feel like Ben Simmons, just the way this entire thing has gone on, has been disappointing. I gave him the benefit of the doubt in Philly because it's a tough situation. Especially him dealing with fans who are obnoxious and who are rude and are toxic and very negative. Okay, I can understand how that affects your mental health. That would affect a lot of people. But then when he get traded to Brooklyn, I'm like, okay, he's revitalized. Any player that leaves a situation like the one he left in Philly, not any player, because obviously it's not for Ben Simmons, but most players that have a desire and that have competitive nature would be longing at the opportunity to leave that situation and now prove themselves in a new one. And he hasn't done that in Brooklyn.
Agreed.
At first, it was he needed some time away for his mental health in the first couple of weeks. That's why he didn't play. And then it's because his back now. And I'm not saying, his back could very well be in pain. I'm not saying it's not.
I think that's more realistic.
Yeah, it definitely is more realistic. And that's why for me, I'm like, I don't feel like he has true competitive nature. I don't feel like he wants to be great. I don't feel like he wants to be a missing piece to a championship team. I don't think he really cares. And that's why I don't know if he's a big loss for Brooklyn. I think Brooklyn, like I mentioned before, they can win with just Kyrie and KD. Kevin Durant this year, he's averaging 29 for the Nets. When he was healthy, they were 29-15. That's a .659 win percentage, which would be second in the Eastern Conference right now. So that means when Kevin Durant plays, the Nets are the second best team in the Eastern Conference.
They were number 2.
And we're talking about a team that didn't have Kyrie for the majority of the season. It really was Kevin Durant carrying somebody in James Harden, who, if we're taking into account James Harden's level of play in Brooklyn for most of the year, Seth Curry can definitely outdo that with Drummond.
Outdo? He was still averaging 23 and basically 10 assists.
He said and Drummond.
I guess that makes it better, but that's how I interpret it. But
I don't know. Watching the Nets games with Harden, even when KD was there was a lot of
misery.
4 for 15 nights and Kevin Durant dropping 38.
Super inefficient.
At least you're right, like Harden to give you 20 and 10, but Seth to give me 18 and shoot 6 for 11 from
no doubt.
three.
I'm with you.
And he'd be
He's a better fit. He's a better fit, which I agree with.
He's a Curry, man. He's a Curry.
Can you stop it, man?
Curry, man. Greatness.
Your agendas.
He's a Curry,
At least they're consistent.
He's
Nah,
a Curry,
they're nice.
bro.
The
Currys don't miss.
The great family.
He's a better shooter than Steph.
Oh my God, you have to stop.
Statistically, he is.
Statistically, he don't even shoot the shots Steph shoot.
Oh yeah, so he's a better spot up shooter.
He probably is a better spot up shooter.
Okay. Who would win in the 1-on-1?
Oh, Steph would cook him.
Why do you think
If Seth got the ball first, would Curry get it back?
Yes.
I don't know.
But if Steph gets the ball first, do you even think?
GG's. It's GG's. No.
Come on, bro.
Nah, Seth could definitely lock him up.
God.
Interesting.
For a
We've
couple
seen Curry get
possessions.
locked.
By Seth?
Nah, just in general.
Seth played at Duke, bro.
That's a great school. Look where they're at. One guy went to Davidson, the other guy went to Duke. One guy's the greatest, the other guy's
So he
not.
went to the better school. He's a better player. That's it.
He didn't get
Point blank
drafted.
period.
Seth didn't get drafted.
Whoa, you might be right, actually.
I know I'm
believe
right.
you. Yeah, I believe you.
You can't tell me about the draft. Who are
I'm
you?
just saying. Whoa. Take it easy.
Come on.
Damn.
Undrafted young boy. I like Seth, though. But I think, like, Kyrie, it's going to help. It's going to work itself out. You know what I'm saying? So Miami, that's your pick, though. And they might play Miami.
I'm lower on Miami now than I was before.
Oh, here we go.
Him and I haven't spoken. I've brought him to our side.
You didn't bring me anywhere.
Nah,
It's
it's
just
true.
off
Nah,
with
you can just
watching.
be honest, man.
You know what?
No,
I'm going to
I
let
am.
it slide.
Just be honest.
And when we do the segment before the playoffs, I want you to make a pick and stand on it. I don't want you to change one game.
I haven't done it at all.
All right, because you keep saying
you're super high in Miami.
now you're low on Miami. Now
It's a long season.
It's getting to the deadline where it's like.
Can we get some acknowledgement here? Like
What acknowledgement, though?
that we were right about Miami, and now you share similar beliefs to ours.
Who was right about Miami?
Riv and I.
I'm so confused. What is he low on though? You didn't tell me.
No, now apparently he's out on Miami being championship contenders.
No, I never said
I don't
that
think he
once.
does. What do you?
Yeah.
You said you're low.
I'm saying I have concerns about Miami.
What was the concerns?
Well, for one, I think Kyle Lowry now is an average point guard.
Damn, really?
I've been watching them play. I feel like Kyle Lowry has lost a step.
Wait,
And
he's 30.
I think now he's deferring.
Okay.
And that's what he's doing right now. But I feel like they need him to be all-star caliber.
You don't
Kyle
think he could do
Lowry.
that in a playoff game though?
I feel like he can, but we've seen in the past that he hasn't.
Okay.
So that's a concern for me. Jimmy Butler, also a concern for me.
Okay.
And I think the continuity of the team as a whole is a concern for me,
Really?
just because all year long they've been injured and different lineups have been playing, and those lineups aren't going to be the same ones playing in the playoffs because guys can be healthier. Those are my concerns. But I'm not out on Miami.
Rotation-wise, though, I trust Spo. In the sense that
Course,
that
you
part,
gotta,
I trust
you
Spo for that. But
I'm not out on Miami.
You
You
feel-
want this credit.
I'm
You want
just
this
saying.
pseudo credit.
Listen, I
He's-
feel like I'm
he's trying
feeling
to get
great
that
about
credit.
it. I am.
He's trying to
I
get that
am.
credit.
I was early to it. That was one of my strong preseason opinions.
What were you early to, though?
That their offense was going to be
He
the
said he
issue.
did say that last summer.
No, but he said offense. Like, that's not my concern with Miami, though.
So your only concern is health, Kyle Lowry.
And Jimmy Butler.
My
So
concern.
the best player on their team,
my concern is
arguably
continuity.
I would say
The
Bam's the
fourth.
second. Who's the third? Tyler
Tyler
Hero?
Hero's better
Okay,
than
okay.
Did you
Tyler.
just like do that?
Yeah, because he was going to say the second. I had to put
I know,
his hand
and I was going to say Bam's the second best player. You could debate third, but I would go Hero.
Like your concern with Miami is that you don't think they'll be able to score enough.
I don't trust their offense in the playoffs.
That's not my concern. I think they'll be able to score enough. I just think that teams late in games might be better.
That was my
situationally.
concern. That part was more me. I said all that. All right.
You made it sound like they'll be like in the low 80s every game. Like they can't score. They have nobody to score.
Listen, realistically, it's the
Playoffs
NBA.
getting
You're going to
close.
score at least 90. You should at least.
Playoffs is
With
getting
the
close.
limited
It's
defense, for sure,
cutting
for
down,
sure.
fellas. Cutting down.
I'm excited.
You shouldn't be.
I am.
You have no team in the playoffs.
What are you talking about? Milwaukee.
I forgot. Yeah, I'm sorry.
And I chose the Suns. So
No. We're not doing that.
what are you
On
talking
to
about? That's my finals.
Yeah, but you're a Lakers fan.